schools and universities will purge the anti-Semitism and pro-terrorism. What you doing?
Pro-terrorism. What you doing?
Their windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. Nobody does anything about that. They're washing up a show. I saw it this weekend. 3 of them came up. You wouldn't see it once a year. Now they're coming up on a weekly basis. The windmills are driving them crazy. They're driving the whales, I think, a little batty.
Hey guys, how's it going? Jordan Locke here. Everybody's favorite fascist, Donald Trump, is slowly losing his mind. We've been seeing this guy go around the country trying to drum up support for his miserable little campaign, and every time we hear him speak in public, it becomes more and more worrisome, right? This man seems like somebody who is just generally confused, dazed, perplexed, befuddled, senile, demented, whatever you want to call it, okay? This guy, Trump, clearly isn't well, and he's clearly losing it, okay? Both physically and mentally is what it seems. My favorite part about this entire situation is that Trump is forever talking about how Biden is losing his mind, right? How Biden is having this cognitive decline, and he can't string 2 words together, he can't put sentences together, he can't speak. Meanwhile, this is happening with Trump, right? But I'm a little confused because I'm hearing from Trump and I'm hearing from all these like MAGA clowns in the Bible Belt that on the one hand, Biden is this demented, senile old man who can't speak, who can't walk. But then I'm also hearing that he is this genius mastermind who is working with the elite secretive class to usher in a new world order. So which is it? I'm hoping some MAGA clowns can hop in the comments and help me with this situation, help me understand this. Is Biden an old, demented man who can't string 2 words together, who can barely walk anymore? Or is he this genius mastermind who's working with George Soros and the Illuminati to replace all blue-collar Republicans with lizard people and take over the world? I'm unclear as to what's happening, so please help me out, MAGA clowns. Hop in the comments, help me out with what's happening here with Biden. Either way, in this video, we're going to go over some examples of Trump on the stump, losing his mind. You love to see it. Let's get started. So in this first clip, we have Trump talking about how he is our sole protector and he is going to defeat the communist, Marxist, atheist, and demonic forces. Let's listen to this.
But I wanted to and had to stand up to the communists, the Marxists, the atheists, and the evil and demonic forces that want to destroy our country. They're destroying our country. I took their fire and I did it gladly. I'm protecting the people in this room. I'm protecting the people of this nation.
So there you have it, folks. Trump is our sole protector and savior. He is going to come down and protect us and defeat the forces of communism, the communists, the Marxists, the atheists, the demonic forces. However, he left one out, and I'm not sure if it's on purpose, but for some reason, he didn't say he was going to help defeat the fascists. And I think I understand why. It's because every chance Trump gets, he is absolutely gushing and slobbering over all of the fascists in this world. Trump has talked about how Viktor Orban, the leader of Hungary, literally considered the most corrupt country in the EU. Trump has talked about how this man is so smart and so strong.
Viktor Orban, did anyone ever hear of him? He's probably like one of the strongest leaders anywhere in the world. And he's the leader of... Right? He's the leader of Turkey. But Viktor Orban, and he's the head of Hungary, and he runs it tough. Let me tell you, he runs it properly. He runs it strong.
Trump gushes all over Kim Jong, the leader of North Korea. This is the same guy who paints the U.S. to his people as their #1 enemy and the people who want to see them destroyed. Trump is constantly praising this man and gushing all over him.
My friend.
Good to see you again.
이런 데서 각하를 만나게 될 줄 생각 못했어요.
I've never expected to meet you at this place.
That's good. That's my honor. Would you like me to step across?
각하께서 한 발자국 건너시면 사상 처음으로 우리 땅을 밟으시는 미국 대통령이 되십니다.
If your excellency take a step forward, you will be the first U.S. president to cross the line.
I'd be very proud to do that. Okay, let's do it. Come on.
Don't forget China's president Xi Jinping. Trump gushes all over him, talking about how smart and how intelligent and how tough this guy is. China's our main competitor. This is the country that we are most likely to be engaged in war with in the next 10 years. And Trump still can't help himself from slobbering and gushing all over this guy.
But think of President Xi, central casting, brilliant guy. You know, when I say he's brilliant, everyone says, oh, well, that's terrible. We call him. Well, he runs 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. Smart, brilliant, everything perfect. There's nobody in Hollywood like this guy.
Don't forget Trump's words about Putin, right? The president of Russia. This guy was president for 4 years and literally didn't have a single bad thing to say about one of the worst dictators on the planet.
Today, reporters asked me if I thought President Putin was smart. I said, of course he's smart, to which I was greeted with, oh, that's such a terrible thing to say. I'd like to tell the truth. Yes, he's smart. The NATO nations, and indeed the world, as he looks over what's happening strategically with no repercussions or threats whatsoever, they're not so smart.
I don't know if you guys remember, but when Trump traveled to meet Putin in Russia, his display with Putin was considered downright embarrassing for a U.S. president. Even the late Republican John McCain stated before he died that he had never seen such a humiliating and embarrassing moment in his life as Trump kissing up and gushing all over Putin when he met him. So here's a guy who is praising all of these fascists all the world over, but he's going to protect us from communism. He's going to protect us from Marxism, from atheism, which, like, I'm not sure what you have to protect people from atheism for. I'm pretty sure this, one of the founding beliefs of this country was freedom of religion. If people don't want to believe in a God, that's 100% fine. There is nothing for you to protect from, right? That's just a belief. Unless you're talking about imposing your religious belief on other people who don't have the same belief, which is contrary to one of the founding tenets of this country. Also, what demonic forces are you going to protect people from in this country?
The evil and demonic forces that want to destroy our country, they're destroying our country.
Like, are the demonic forces, what, are they women? Are women who want reproductive rights and autonomy over their bodies? Are those the demonic forces? Are the demonic forces illegal immigrants who are coming here to escape persecution and have a better life for their families? Are they the demonic forces? Is it the LGBTQ community? Is it minorities who want equal rights and justice in this country? Are those the demonic forces that you're going to protect the Bible Belt Republicans from? If so, good luck with that. I would love to see the ex-US president who was cheating on his wife with a porn star and then using his campaign funds to give her hush money. I would love to see that guy protect this country from demonic forces. I can't wait to see it. I'm waiting for that. Here we have Trump talking about how he's going to protect the country from the radical Democrats.
And so important, and it's not discussed right, it's not talked about right. To be honest, Republicans don't know how to discuss the subject, but they're the radicals, not us. The Democrats are the radicals. So now pro-lifers have a tremendous power to negotiate. You had no power.
It's the Democrats who are radical, not the Republicans. You know, the radical ideas of the Democrats, such as women having autonomy over their own bodies, women having equal rights, minorities having equal rights, right? Like rights not being based on the color of your skin or your ethnicity, but just the fact that you're a human being. All these concepts, right? These radical, extreme concepts. LGBTQ people wanting to be considered and treated equally. Justice and the freedom to live for anybody, regardless of your gender, of your color, of your ethnicity, of what gender you're attracted to. All these ideas are just so extreme and radical, right? Obviously a very far cry from the Republican Party, who are not radicals at all. You know, the same group who every single hate group in this country, the KKK, the Skinheads, the Proud Boys, all these organizations, the same political party that they always support every presidential election. Those guys aren't radical at all. They're not extreme. Just the people who want equal rights, those people are the ones who are extreme. Here's good old Don trying to pronounce the word terrorism. You know, the word he's always using as a catchphrase to describe anybody who doesn't agree with his beliefs. You'd think he'd learn the word by now and have mastered how to speak, right? And how to say this word, but apparently not. Let's listen to this.
Colleges and universities will purge the anti-Semitism and pro-terrorism what you're doing.
That's pro-terrorism, good old Moscow Don. You know, the catchphrase you use and Republicans use to describe anybody who doesn't think the way you do. For example, when the riots were happening because of what happened with George Floyd. The police who did that to George Floyd and the police who were abusing their power all across the country, they weren't terrorists at all. Just the people who were upset about them abusing power and the people reacting to it, they were the real terrorists, right? The LGBTQ community members who march for equal rights and who will stop at nothing to be considered equal and to be able to marry each other and have the same rights that any straight couple has. Those people are terrorists because, God forbid, we have them being considered equal. Minorities, ethnicities who want the same rights, those guys, I'm telling you, they're the real terrorists. We cannot have those guys wanting to have justice and equality for all people. Those guys are the real terrorists. Come on, Trump, you know how to use this word. You and your Republicans love this word. You love to paint everybody who isn't a Republican Bible Belt MAGA clown as a terrorist. So this word should be nothing new for you. Here's Trump talking about Biden almost starting World War II. You know, the war that happened over 70 years ago.
The worst president in the history of our country who is cognitively impaired. We would be in World War II very quickly if we're going to be relying on this man.
Wait a minute, Donnie. We all know that you love to make up facts as you go, and the reality of a MAGA clown is not the real reality that everybody sees, right? It's just whatever you think you want to make up as a fact in the moment at the time is fine. And you see this over and over again in Trump's speeches, right? Where he's just constantly just making up facts on the fly about the job numbers, for example, under the Biden presidency, about all types of statistics. On the fly, this guy just makes up facts and the MAGA crowd falls for it, hook, line, and sinker. So we expect this from Don. But the only problem is that World War II already happened, Donnie. That happened almost approaching a century ago. I think you meant to say World War III. And the only reason why World War III didn't happen under your watch is because you were too busy giving Putin reach-arounds when you were president. Here's Donald Trump confusing George Bush Sr., George Bush Jr., and Jeb Bush. Because, you know, they all have the same last name, so obviously the same person.
And then they took a poll and they found out Trump was up by about 50 points. Everyone said, what's going on right here? They thought Bush, because Bush supposedly was a military person. Great. You know what? He was a he got us into the Middle East. How did that work out, right? But they all thought that Bush might win. Jeb. Remember Jeb?
So Jeb Bush was not in the military, Donnie. Jeb Bush did not bring us to the Middle East. You ran against Jeb Bush. George Bush Jr. brought us to the Middle East, and George Bush Jr. was not the person who was in the military. That was George Bush Sr., okay? These are three different people that you're talking about, not the same person. George Bush Sr., on the other hand, was a president back when the Republican Party was at least somewhat respectful. This is back when Donald Trump was still a failed New York City real estate tycoon, right? Lying about the valuations of his properties and driving companies to bankruptcy. What was it, Don? Was it 6 companies that you drove to bankruptcy? I think it's fair to say that you were a failed real estate tycoon. Why did the ever so smart and all-knowing Donald Trump drive 6 companies into bankruptcy? Maybe it was the deep state. So guys, by now we're pretty well aware of the fact that the MAGA brand of reality has nothing to do with actual reality, right? Trump has sort of normalized just lying and just spewing it as if it's the truth, making up just random bogus statistics on the spot to support whatever narrative he's pushing. And of course, you know, the Bible Belt constituency of the MAGA Republican Party falls for it hook, line, and sinker. So we're well acquainted with the fact that Trump just loves to make stuff up in all these stump speeches as he goes, just whatever pleases him at the time. The one thing you can't make up, though, is who's president. Here is Trump talking about the fact that Obama is actually still president.
As you know, crooked Joe Biden and the radical left thugs who have weaponized law enforcement to arrest their leading political opponent, and leading by a lot, including Obama. I'll tell you what, you take a look at Obama and take a look at some of the things that he's done.
It's all coming through Iran, and Obama he doesn't want to talk about it.
Well, you mean President Biden. So,
So we understand that Obama lives rent-free in your head. We're all aware of that. But Obama is not the president, you dunce. Biden is the president. And by the way, Obama can't be president because his birth certificate was fake, right? And even if it was Obama, it doesn't matter whether it was Biden or Obama, you're still not going to win. Because despite your constant attempts to try to weaponize these ethnic insecurities that all of these sort of Bible Belt uneducated Republicans have, okay, because we know what you're doing. There's no secret to it, right? Fox News started this grift. They're the ones that invented it, and you're just capitalizing off of it. It's all a race hustle, right? It's race baiting. It's the same thing as when you go to Fox News, and almost every single day, their top 4 stories have something to do with something bad that minorities did. But then they completely ignore stories when it's a non-minority doing something bad or minority doing something good. Trump is essentially the personified version of what Fox News does. It's a grift, it's a race hustle. So you can try to weaponize the xenophobia of these uneducated people as much as you want to, the same way Tucker Carlson does, the same way Alex Jones does, the same way Steven Crowder does. I can promise you it's not going to work, all right? You're still going to get beaten. This guy is just not going to win the presidential election, and he might even be in jail before then. We can only hope, right? That's the best case scenario. And there's actually a good chance that that'll happen. So we will see how that turns out. So, guys, we've been talking about Trump's cognitive decline for the last 10 minutes or so. I've shown you a bunch of examples, but you don't have to take my word for it if you don't want to. You can actually just listen to other people. It's all over the internet right now. Here's Megyn Kelly speaking about it on her show very recently.
Do you think that Donald Trump has faded from where he was in 2020?
Yeah, I do.
Huh.
I mean, I take him over Joe Biden any day of the week.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to, fill out this term, never mind a second. But there's no question Trump has lost a step, or multiple steps. He is confusing Joe Biden for Obama. I know he's now saying he intentionally did that. Go back and look at the clips.
Right.
It wasn't intentional. It was look, any of us could have a slip of the tongue, but it's happening to him repeatedly.
So, guys, all jokes aside, in all seriousness, Donald Trump is the only person who has been president in this country with 0 political experience and 0 military experience. He should have had military experience, but Donald Trump was a coward, the way he's always a coward, and he opted out of the military by citing some spurious, ridiculous excuse like bone spurs in his feet or something like that. Basically, he didn't want to serve, right? And just like he was a coward then, he's being a coward now with his trials. He doesn't want to testify at any of his trials anymore because he knows very well that he's guilty, just like the rest of us know that he's guilty. So this man does not deserve to be president. This man is not presidential material, all right? Trump is nothing more than a failed businessman who found a successful grift. The same grift that Tucker Carlson uses, the same grift that Alex Jones uses, the same grift that Steven Crowder, Vivek Ramaswamy. Fox News is a great example of this grift. And this grift is playing off of the deep insecurities and xenophobias of an entire uneducated block of this country. That's what these people are doing, and that's what Trump is doing, and he knows that, right? Obama being elected president as a non-white, to a lot of these racist people in the Bible Belt, that was the ultimate affront, right? It doesn't get any more insulting than having a non-white person become president of this country that's supposed to be all white, right? And so that's the only reason why Trump even has a platform right now. He saw this, right? He saw how upset this made all of these uneducated people in the Bible Belt, in the South, in the Midwest, and unfortunately in some other places too. But he saw what Obama being president did to these people, and he saw a business opportunity. He said, wait, I can take advantage of these people's insecurities and these people's xenophobias. And they're not really smart enough, like they're not educated enough to understand what I'm doing, because anybody with half an education, half a brain can clearly see what Trump is doing. They can clearly see what Fox News does. They see the business model and they see how these entities are profiting off of this sort of fear-mongering and xenophobia and race baiting. So guys, I think this is as plain as day. This guy does not belong anywhere near the White House again. It's a travesty that he got to spend 4 years in the White House. But let's make sure that this race-hustling dictator fascist never steps foot in the White House again. Okay? This is our mission, guys. We have to make sure that this happens. I have faith in this country. I don't think that we will allow this man to be in the White House again. We have 1 year left. I think that we can do it. Let's make it happen, guys. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Trump. Is he in cognitive decline? Do you not believe he's in cognitive decline? Do you think that he's doing this on purpose? Apparently, I heard on a news clip today that Trump heard about people speaking about his cognitive decline, and he's saying that him referencing Obama as president was on purpose, all right? He actually said this and thought people were going to believe this. So if you believe this, I would love to see why. Please comment, let me know what you think about this. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate what I'm doing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.